to another edition of the CEO Tour. Today is a really special day because we're in Markham, and look who I have here. I got some Wellness Living team members here. I got Avital, I got Sina, I got Jasma, and I got Burge. We're here at CrossFit Markham. We're gonna be talking with Steve Cristini. This is gonna be absolutely amazing. We're gonna be doing a CrossFit class. I got my water bottle. And we're ready. We're ready to do CrossFit. Guys, everybody come inside. Let's check it out. Let's take a class and let's get the CEO Tour going. Like this, Steve, this has been awesome so far. You took me through an absolutely killer workout. I'm wearing the gear, Cristini Athletics. This place has been phenomenal. And you got a story to tell. Like we kind of go back, like, I don't know,
from our beginning years.
Yeah, 15 years plus. I remember you like scrawny, 155 pound guy, and now you're a man, you're a family man, you're a businessman, built a phenomenal business. Tell me about your fitness journey, your journey into fitness. When did it all start?
Well, you know, it's funny. So our business is Cristini Athletics, and really to us, what that means is it means family. Our experience and our fitness has come from our family. Growing up, my mom has been an aerobics instructor since like the 80s. I grew up basically in the aerobics room. I was being lugged along from an early age. So from the early on, I was exposed to that life. And one of the funniest things I always remembered is everywhere we went, somebody always recognized my mom because she was that spin instructor, she was that aerobics instructor, and she had that impact on people's lives. And there's not a lot of jobs where you feel like you can impact people. And as a little kid, I saw that. And I saw what she meant to a lot of people. And naturally, it's just one of those things, you're like, look at the impact she's had on her community. You know, that's one of the best things you could do. It's if you can fill your day with impacting your community around you and strengthening your neighbors, strengthening your neighborhood, and having a change in people's lives, so we kind of followed in naturally. So it was my mom's fault. So we could thank her, honestly. Then from there, it was my brother Chris, he was the first one to really venture into the CrossFit world, the group training, changing it up a little bit. And, you know, being the younger brother, I naturally followed him. I took a lot of his advice. He was almost kind of that second father figure for me for a lot of years. So, you know, I was just coming out of university. I was doing Muay Thai fighting at the time, and then we found CrossFit in its early days, and I kind of got hooked right away. It was a different way of training. It was a lot more fun than just a traditional method to me, and that's why I was that 150-pound skinny guy. I came from the Muay Thai background where being light was good. But being 18, 19, 6 foot tall, 150 pounds, you're like, kind of would rather have a little muscle, you know? So, I kind of really dove headfirst in. And, you know, 15 years later, we've got 2 locations, we've got clinics, we've got over 30 employees. It's grown. Obviously, fitness has changed a lot. We've changed a lot. We've rebranded. We've changed how we do our things. I mean, even CrossFit is very much part of what we do, but it's not the only thing that we do now these days. So we've done a lot of growing, a lot of changing over the years, and you know, we survived the pandemic, so here we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. You've really become sort of the pillar of the community here, right? Like this is a community place. You got all the people around Markham coming here. East End coming here, you got the West End covered with the location in Woodbridge. I mean, it's just a phenomenal thing you got going on. So Yeah, we're just glad to be part of it. Like me personally, like watching you and your brother grow, and your mom did a class for us here.
Yeah, she taught the class. She's one of our busiest coaches.
It's just really, really amazing. So tell me about sort of that first step where you decided, okay, you know what, like I want this to be part of the business. I want to open up a business. I want to be an entrepreneur. Tell us about that journey for you and your brother. Where did that first moment?
The entrepreneur is one of those words, I think it's thrown out so much and people don't really know what it means until you really get into it. And honestly, it's scary. What we knew early on was we wanted to impact lives. And this was one of the quickest way that we could help people change their lives and have that feel-good type life. Seeing them go through it again, and I can't say that I was the one who started it, I was the one who followed into it, but I saw them changing people's lives. So honestly, as soon as I was in it, even just for about 6 months, I was like, this is what I want. I changed my degrees. I ended up going to school for kinesiology. I said, if we're gonna do this, I wanna go full force. And then after a short period of time from doing it from home, we decided let's take a leap of faith, and I think we have something good here. So it was 2010 that we decided let's open our first real location. And at the time, we needed to fill the space with some bodies, which is how we originally connected. And from there, it was, one of the biggest things that our own true core values is family. And if you continue to treat people like family, people are gonna come and they're gonna go, they're gonna move away, they're gonna leave, but there's always going to be a good reputation if you do the right thing. And it's gotten to the point we've been around long enough where people's kids are now joining our classes because their kids have grown up into adults. And people's cousins have moved into the area and they've been recommended to come to us. So we've just been around long enough at this point that it's come full circle.
Yeah, that's just, again, like just incredible. And for those of you who haven't tried CrossFit before, this was actually my first CrossFit, exercise class, and it was just like it's tough, but it's a good feel. Like you just feel like after you're done, you just get this burst of like energy. You feel pumped up that you've accomplished something.
It's definitely accomplishing. Yeah. And I mean, the great thing is with CrossFit at its truest sense is you can have people, if you come in some of our evenings, I've got 20-year-old former pro athletes, and I've got 70-year-old surgeons who are doing the same workout. They're both moving at their own pace. They're moving in their own stations. They have their own equipment. They're doing what's comfortable for them. But as coaches, we're making sure that week to week, month to month, year to year, they're gonna progress in what matters to them and in a way that's beneficial to them. So anyone can do it. At the end of the day, you just gotta have the mindset that you like to work. There's no shortage of work happening.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still sweating from the class we just did.
Yeah, so am I. Yeah, so it was awesome, and like CrossFit, it's so interesting because it's really functional, right? It's not just like you're not just like lifting heavy weight and doing Olympic lifts. It's a combination of a variety of different things that kind of build that athleticism. Maybe talk to people.
Well, yeah, you said it perfectly. The word athleticism. So much so that in our name we have made it Cristini Athletics. It's about athletics, and it's not to say that just lifting is bad. If that's your thing, great, do it. At the end of the day, find a fitness that you like. But for us, we found a system where you can make people move better, feel stronger, honestly feel real accomplished, because by the end of a class here, you're like, I got some work done, and just overall healthier. We tell people, for example, like our goal is not to make people look like Arnold, which would be totally cool, but our goal is more to make people look like Ronaldo, right? That athletic, lean, can do a bunch of different things, and you're prepared for life. And that's essentially where like functional fitness comes from, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And it's so important. Like I know, when I was going through the workout, I've never done sumo deadlifts before, and like my ego says, hey, load up the bar, but you got to cut that out and just basically, like if you're learning something new, just take it easy. The first step at a time. Do lightweight. Make sure you get the form right, and you'll be fine. Yeah. So going back to the software. So I know software is like a huge piece of the growth and everything that you tell us how first of all, how did that transition go? Because you were using another platform before. Talk us through that, how that transition.
So it's funny, we were talking earlier off camera, and we started early enough that there was not a lot of software available. We were writing memberships down on pen and paper in a binder. Month to month, we're like, hey, Len, you owe your monthly, right? So we've been through the old school. Then as things started to come along, I found in the early days, either they were just completely underwhelming, where it just wasn't enough functionality, or other sites had like way too much functionality to the point that you get lost, it was super confusing, and you were honestly paying for so much stuff that you didn't need. And it just felt like every new month it was like, here's something new, but you got to pay $1,000 more. You're like, whoa. So we got to the point where like, we need something new. We need to make a change. And it was actually at a conference that we saw your booth. And after a few conversations, looking at the simplicity of the site, but when I say simplicity, I mean in a beautiful way. It was user-friendly. It had all the functionality you needed and a little extra in case you wanted that extra stuff, but it wasn't confusing. It wasn't overly kind of black and white and boring looking. So honestly, I found it visually very appealing. I even actually think I associate it to your branding. Like your branding and your site goes along in the same sort of way, where there was a certain allure to it, even just with the colors. But we made the transition. It was actually right before the pandemic. And I think it was January before the pandemic that we had made the transition. And obviously your team made it really easy for us to transition. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse than it was. And it actually allowed us in that time actually to clean up a lot of things, little just missing bits of information. We cleaned up the way that we had people register. And then by the time we did register, we were officially in. 2 months later, the pandemic happened, but being the team that you guys are, you guys had new options for us within like a few weeks. All of a sudden we could put videos uploaded to the site. We could do Zoom classes directly through the site where people were booking. It was so refreshing to be like, okay, these guys got our back during these times. And honestly, that's one of those things. It's like, when you go through hard times with people, you end up loving that person forever. It was like, wow, that really helped us out. And obviously even now there's constantly new things on the rise, and we're happy where we're at.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's one of the biggest things for me as the CEO of the company is to kind of reinforce that belief in all of our staff that, it's all about the customer. It's all about, giving you the tools and support and all that stuff to help you, not only manage your business, but grow your business.
Yeah.
And the pandemic was certainly very challenging for a lot of studios out there, particularly those Canadians out there. Because we experienced, it was almost like a 3-year lockdown.
Yeah, depending on where you were, yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely, horrific for a lot of businesses. And, we did our best to try to really give you the tools to get you through that, all the virtual stuff that we did. So it's so important, because without you as our customer and thousands of other businesses, we don't have a business, right? So yeah, super important. I'm really interested in seeing how you're using the software.
Sure.
Maybe we could take me through some of that, some of the features that really those standout features that you really love, and share that with the audience.
Sure, yeah. So typically on a normal day, obviously our dashboard, this is my own custom dashboard. I'll come in first thing in the morning and I'll check in on some of our daily reports. Obviously, daily sales, some failed payments, things like that if we need to contact any of our members to pay us, which is always good. Expiring members is more so like a weekly type thing where we just want to check in if anyone's expiring that week, making sure the right communication is going out. If we need to relay information to our front desk to take care of that for us. Then from there, we've got some of our saved reports, obviously things like payroll is an easy one. Being able to use that, again, saving time as an entrepreneur. If you don't have to waste time on something like payroll and you can have something spit it out for you, is always good. Memberships, expiring purchase options, things like that. Those are one of the ones we typically use. Obviously our front desk and some of our other coaches, they have their own custom dashboards. Our front desk, a lot of the times they're checking in on some of these features here, but they're also messaging newer members. Some of them are sending in, we've got some preset emails built into the system. So that's done in our marketing actually. So we've got our email campaigns that we like to send out. When people first join, we send them a special offer essentially to bring in friends, and being able to send out emails directly through the system. Again, it's one of those opportunities where you don't have to have another third-party company to use that feature and do this feature and do that feature. You can have it all in one place, and you can connect with your members also based on certain reports. If they haven't been in a few weeks, you want an automatic message to be sent. You can save yourself from potentially losing a member. which is always a good thing. So that's typically what we use between this and then a lot of the times on the floor, a lot of the coaches are using their app just because they're quick in between sessions or in between class. They want to check in on attendance. They want to check in on if people are showing up, how many people are showing up for class, things like that. So that's a lot of our daily use. So a lot of times I like to open up the app in the morning. I check in on sales, things like that, and I can get a quick overview of registration of the class that day. I can check in on the classes, what time are some PTs happening. So this way, if I need to contact any of our coaches, I can check in on things. Or if I need to move schedules around, it's such an easy way to be able to do it right from my palm of my hand. I was actually on vacation 2 weeks ago. And while I was in Portugal, I was, heading to the beach. I was 5 hours ahead, and I could check what's going on. I would be able to connect with coaches, connect with members. If I had to, even send them a quick message about a payment, I could do it all right through the handheld app, which is honestly amazing.
And Steve, I see some banners up on the walls. There's a cool photo of you and a team. I think that was at CrossFit Games. So talk us through some of that.
So obviously the CrossFit Games is like the pinnacle of CrossFit. It is the sport side of CrossFit, what kind of separates the two different variations of really what CrossFit is. And it's kind of the exciting thing. It's our Olympics, where there's basically a 4-stage process where people can try to qualify for the CrossFit Games each year. And being a competitive guy, I'm the youngest of 3 boys, right? You can imagine that competitive nature. As soon as I heard about the CrossFit Games, I was like, I want that one day. I don't know how big of a goal that is. It's like saying I want to make the Olympics, but it was like, if we can do it, we can do it. And in 2016, we put together a team, fit enough people. We brought the right people in. And in 2016, we actually qualified for the CrossFit Games. At that year, we went and competed in Carson, California. We were actually the only Canadian team that competed that year. So we got to represent Canada. And for about 3 or 4 years in a row, we were the fittest team in Canada. We had the fittest gym or fittest team in Canada, which was a pretty cool thing. And competing there has been it teaches you a lot in terms of like your own, really what is hard work, really what is dedication, and it also inspires, right? And that's been kind of the 2 reasons. Obviously, my own ego wants me to go to the CrossFit Games, but you inspire your members through your hard work. You inspire your people through your dedication to what it is that you do. And I mean, anybody who's at the highest level, you can't question their authenticity in, if you're a boxer and you fought Mayweather, you're probably pretty legit, right? So that was what it was, and obviously we had tried a couple more times to make it back. It's honestly been a crazy journey to get there. We only went once in 2016, but every year since then, 9 times, in fact, we've qualified for the one step lower, which is called the regionals. So I've been there 9 times, and even there, we're one of few Canadian teams to qualify. And the competing has always been more so on the side, and I always say originally it was like I'm a business owner number 1, I'm an athlete number 2, and then so on. Now it's at the point where I'm like, I'm a dad, I'm a business owner, I'm a husband, I'm a dog walker, and then I'm an athlete. So it's still there, we're still loving it, we're still breathing it, but obviously we're not able to live that life exactly right now, but when the kids get a little older, I'll be back.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. It's always about testing yourself.
Yeah.
And it's setting goals.
That's what it is.
Going after it. Yeah. That's what life's about. You set a goal for yourself, you give it all you got, you go after it, whatever it may be, starting a business, going to games, father, everything, right? It's about just giving it your all and doing your best.
The truth is people will say, just find some motivation. And the truth is motivation's not always going to be there. It's not. And life goes through peaks up and down. But why is it that when someone books a vacation, all of a sudden they're going to go a little extra harder on their diet? They're going to go a little extra harder on their training. It's because they have an end date and they have a timeline and a goal. Humans do real well with timelines and goals. If things are just left out in the open, they're just going to stay relatively the same, hopefully not worse. But all of a sudden, if you've got a reason to peak up and then a reason to come down just a little bit. You went on that vacation, probably had a few tequilas while you're there, you probably gained 5 pounds back, but you're like, I'm still down 10. And then the next time you book another vacation 6 months later, you're still down 5, right? And it's about those peaks and valleys, as long as it looks like this over the course of a lifetime. And that's why, for me, for example, the CrossFit Games or whether it was other competitions, it was my reason to peak throughout the year. It was my end date, it was my goals. That's just how I like to choose it. Even within our gym, we build in yearly programs. For example, in January, both gyms come together, we do our shred challenge. And we usually get about 300 to 400 people joining in on this. You're on a team and you're competing as an individual. And all of a sudden the buzz in our gym for 2 months is awesome. Everybody's doing the diet together because they've got that community feel with it. Their coaches are on them. Everyone goes to that next level. And then they come down for a little bit. Then we move into the next thing. So integrating goals into your life is like, you have to. Otherwise, just motivation won't do it.
Yeah, yeah. And what advice do you have for some new business owners that maybe are struggling right now? What advice would you give those folks out there?
You know what? Having a mentor, having somewhere where you can go and get, number one, advice, and number two, where you can ask questions about ideas that you have. Because entrepreneurs, we know what we know, and we also don't know what we don't know. We also think our ideas are awesome, and sometimes they're not. And sometimes you need an honest outside opinion to tell you your advice is not great, or your ideas are not great. So having a mentor or somewhere where you can go to ask the right questions and receive true feedback, number one. And honestly, number two, having the systems in place that you can make your life easier. Having a system where you don't have to go in a book and write down people's payment plans, or you can have a beautiful app already all done for you with your own branding that looks wonderful, and your members can take care of it that way. If you can save yourself time in any sort of way, using the technology to do so, these days, there's no reason to not do it. So if you have not found the right tech, call a good company. I think you might know one, but call and save yourself the time. It's the best way to save yourself the little bits of daily things that you really don't need to be doing if you have the right systems. This is our Markham location. We've got 6,000 square feet of group fitness space. Up here at the front, this is kind of where the people tend to hang out. We've got our assault bikes, we've got our bike ergs, and our variety of different types of machines. We've got rowers, ski ergs, the different ways that we like to torture people, but sweat and have fun. And then out here in the middle, this is our main space of the floor. So as you can see, one of the things that actually kind of came out of the pandemic was stations, and we actually kind of really ran with it and loved it. So you'll see that we've got 18 different spots here on the left side. This is typically like our class side. And then as you come through, we will see we've got our screens that display our workouts, and we've got lots of barbell options for our members. And then up here on the right, this would actually be our personal training area, where you would see in the evenings, this is where one-on-one sessions tend to happen. They're a little bit more out of their own way. They have their own space. And this is also a lot of our storage. So we've got plates, we've got dumbbells, we've got kettlebells, we've got a PT session going on in the back. We've got medicine balls, benches. We've got a couple self-propelled treadmills down at the back, which is, if you've never used one of those, it's fun. It's different, right? It makes you run at your own speed, but it teaches you how to run real properly. Up here we've got our pull-up rig, which acts as squat racks. We use our bars, we do different things from it. We hang our rings. So this is where a lot of the action happens. And then further towards the back, we've got a little bit more storage, things like foam rollers, more squat racks. We do actually a lot of kids programs. So we do a lot of strength conditioning for sports and for different teens all the way through kind of adolescence. So basketball net is always necessary for those guys. They always like to shoot threes, right? So it has some fun. We like to use different type of implements too. So we've got some sandbags at the back. We've got some glute ham developers, a couple cable machines, reverse hyperextensions. So it looks like a big wide open space, but we bring everything into people's zones, into their own sections. So this way, everyone has their own comfortable spot. They're gonna have their own equipment. They're gonna have their stuff. Again, that was kind of one of those things that came out of the pandemic, but we actually loved it. And a lot of people tended to like it. And so everyone kind of has their own home. They do their workout in their home. There are times that we move around, but we have more than enough space for people to move around. So some nights it gets busy in here, which is actually when it's the most fun. Lots of energy, lots of fun. And obviously a lot of hard work gets done here. A lot of sweating, as you experience. Yeah. And this is our home. We've been actually in this location for almost 11 years now. In November, it's 11 years, which has been a long time coming. Originally, when we first moved here, we did not need this much space, but we're glad we took the leap of faith, because now we're at the point where we've maxed out. When you come in here in the evenings, you're like, oh yeah, okay, they need the space. But originally, everyone huddled together because they were not used to all this space. So this is where we're at. This is our Markham location. Thanks for coming by today, bringing the whole crew. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, it's been nice getting to know everyone as well.
For sure, Steve. It's always amazing talking to you, meeting with, this is the first time I'm doing a CEO tour. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you on behalf of the entire Wellness Living team for having us here, taking us through that amazing class. That was an amazing class. It's hard. I'm not going to tell you it was easy. It was hard, but it was great, and we feel amazing. And yeah, we're building out some amazing new features.
Yep.
Like Fit Builder. This is the guy that's helping us put together Fit Builder. It's going to actually revolutionize the CrossFit box thing. So it's coming out soon, and yeah, so look for that. All right, another CEO tour down. Wow, this one was an amazing one. I got the whole crew with me. We did a class. I'm wearing the gear. We did our first CrossFit class. This was absolutely amazing. Okay, all you guys out there, if you're in Toronto, specifically in Markham, you absolutely have to check out Cristini Athletics in Markham. If you're in Woodbridge, west of the city, west of Toronto, you got to check out Cristini Athletics Woodbridge. This place is absolutely incredible. CrossFit is incredible. The class was incredible. The atmosphere was incredible. I mean, this is just a family business that is absolutely taking over the area here. Incredible, incredible. Like what else can I say here, guys? Like this has been so much fun today. So everyone, what I want you to do, if you're a Wellness Living customer and you want us to come and visit with you, put your comments down below, send an email to ceotour@wellnessliving.com. I personally answer all comments in the comments below, so I want you to like and subscribe this video. If you're not a Wellness Living customer, I don't know what you're doing out there. Come join us. This is the family. We're all here together. We're gonna make your business grow. We're gonna make your business better. So get a demo today. It takes 30 minutes of your day, and it's gonna absolutely transform your business. So everyone out there, thank you for being part of the Wellness Living family. Till next time, everybody. Bye for now.
Thank you.